everybody. My name is Suzanne Barraza. I'm a yoga instructor for Iowa Sports Management, and they've asked me to make some short videos to help you over this difficult time. You know, at the beginning of the founding of our country, I believe it was Thomas Paine said, "These are the times that try men's souls." Yes, and women and children too. So I hope that some of these videos will give you comfort. Maybe you'll learn something new. Maybe you'll be reminded of some practice that you've had with me in one of the classes that I've taught you. Or you may be new to me and you may find that you enjoy my teachings. Today, we're going to learn one of many meditations. Meditation, of course, is a great way to center yourself when you're shaken by a lot of different conflicting facts and numbers, and you're not sure what to do or where to go, or you're stuck inside your house and you're getting very antsy. So meditation is a good way to bring yourself back to something that's always with you, that beautiful center within you that will get you through these times. So when I take you through this meditation, I'm just your guide to something that's inside of you already. This is a candle meditation. It's one of my favorite meditations because there are a lot of elements to it. It's an element of focus because you'll be looking at the candle flame. It's an element of noticing that change happens even when you think something is still. You may think of a flame as just being a flame, and you find new things within it. It's very simple because all you need is a candle and a match. And you can even use one of those LED candles if you like, if you don't want to have fire in your house. And they flicker also. So that flickering is part of it. It's not just about being still, but allowing yourself to be still while there's actually a moving object in front of you. So if you're using a candle, I would suggest one of those little votive lights, and you can put it in a nice holder like I have here. I took the metal part off of it so that it wouldn't heat up the holder too much, and then I put it on a plate and I put it on another heat absorbing thing, a trivet, and then I have it on a little box. So you may want to raise it up to a level where you can look downwards, where you don't have to lean forward. You can sit back and relax. You can sit in a chair and do this and put your candle on the table. You can sit cross-legged on the floor if you're used to that, on a pillow. And that way you can be comfortable, and that's part of it. You don't want to feel uncomfortable and feel like you have to move around and fidget. This will also help you be physically still, which is wonderful, because sometimes we get, when we're anxious, we fidget, we move around, we need to discharge our energy. And this helps you to kind of calm your physical being down as well. So without further ado, I'm going to light the candle, and we're going to begin our candle meditation. This will last about 15 minutes. And of course, you could pause the video if you don't want to do a whole 15 minutes. I'll just start you off. And once in a while, I'll be mentioning some aspects of the meditation that you can focus on. So I hope you all enjoy this, and I want to say that I hope you enjoy good health, happiness, and safety. And here we go. One of the things I like about using a candle flame is there's a kind of a ritual about lighting that flame. It's like bringing life to something. The ancient Greeks actually thought that fire was a fifth element of life because it consumes things and it moves. So that's an interesting way to look at it. Now, as I said before, you want to sit comfortably and make sure that you don't want to move around too much. And then if you're sitting cross-legged, you might want to do a mudra like this. This just circulates energy evenly through the body. It's called the chin mudra, the mudra of knowledge. If you're sitting in a chair, you could sit with your hands just relaxed on your knees if you like. And then just go ahead and just lower your eyelids until you're focused on the candle, but not staring at the candle. You want to just drop your eyelids until you're almost just seeing just the light of the candle. For example, when I do this, the outline of the plate and the pattern on the trivet kind of disappear. And I just really see the light of the candle. And you might see little lines of light coming out from the candle, and that's fine. The idea is to just let your focus be soft. Sometimes when we practice this kind of meditation with the eyes partially open, not completely closed, the instruction is to have your gaze as soft as if you were looking at a little child or a baby. So we all kind of smile when we see a baby, or maybe your favorite pet, and you kind of look down at them, and your gaze kind of melts and becomes soft. So that's the way you want to look at the candle. So as you're dropping your eyelids until they're only about a quarter to an eighth of an inch open, I want you to notice the light there, and I'd like you to take a nice slow breath in, and you can even count to yourself 1, 2, 3, 4, and then as you exhale, try to count 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, if you're alone, you can do this out loud if you want. If you're doing this with a couple of people, maybe you want to do this silently, counting. And then as you start to even out your breath, and it doesn't have to be 4, maybe you're only breathing in for 2 at the beginning. As you calm down, you'll probably notice your breath is getting longer. So you may notice some other things besides the candle flame, which is wonderful. The candle flame is just focusing you so that you're not thinking about, oh gosh, do I have enough food in the refrigerator, or should I go out to the grocery store, and what time should I go out, and things like that. You're just focusing on a few things. One is the candle light, another one is your breath, and you can even focus on how your body feels. And if you feel uncomfortable, you can kind of like sit back a little bit more in the chair, or you can allow your shoulders to relax. You might notice at first that there's tension in your body, which is okay, because again, focusing in on the candle light, you're going to find that you even let go of that tension, so that the light becomes the only thing that you focus on after a while, and you might not even notice my voice anymore. And so we're going to just take a few moments to just breathe in and out in this fashion slowly. And I want you to just keep looking at the candle light. Now let's say as you're looking at the candlelight, you notice a little noise. Somebody might be walking around the apartment. Hopefully you can do this in a room where you can shut the door. but maybe you're not in a totally quiet place. I want you to just be aware of those noises as being background noise, so that you take them in and then you let them go on the next breath. And that's a nice way to clear your mind as well. Just breathing in and noticing everything that you notice, the candlelight, the way your body feels, any little noises. And then as you exhale, you just wash that away. You just let it go. You could even think of it going up in smoke if you like. And then you take the next breath in, and maybe it's a different experience. Maybe there's not any more noise, or the tension left you. Now you've been looking at the candle for a little bit, and you might notice, as I said before, that there are little streaks of light coming out from it. You might notice that you can see the flame kind of moving. It might look like two flames sometimes. So you notice that even though you're looking at one point, the point seems to shift and move. So that's okay. You're just watching your perception change. Maybe you even notice that the candle flame becomes the most important thing about your experience right now. So you start to get interested in its movement, and it's almost as if there's a little dance going on. And once in a while you may feel like you're falling asleep and your eyes might close for a second, which is okay. You'll just reopen them and focus on the candle. Another thing that can happen is that you find yourself really absorbed by the candle light, and then suddenly your mind just snaps to something else. This just means that you became more aware of the propensity of the mind to jump, but you can always bring it back to your candle because that's your focus. So the candle kind of helps us bring ourselves back to the center. want you to start noticing not only the candle flame, but the color of the wax that the flame is dancing above. My candle is red, maybe yours is white or another color. And maybe you notice how the light shines on the wax and gets reflected. You can notice the curves or other kind of shape to your holder. Maybe you notice some reflection on the inside of the candle holder, or you just notice the edges of the plate that's it's on, and so you take in those things too. And I want you to really notice those things. Maybe you haven't looked at something this closely before in this kind of absorbed, detailed way. Now we're going to close our eyes completely. So now the candle is not seen by your eyes, but I want you to see it in your mind's eye. So try to remember what you were just looking at, the dancing flame, the reflection on the wax. Maybe the wax had a little indentation in it where the candle was melting the center down. Maybe you noticed some impression on the candle. My candle has these interesting little stamped impressions on it. Maybe you remember the reflections on the candle holder and how they changed. Maybe you can recreate in your mind the edges of the plate that the candle is on, or other things that you were noticing, you were taking in. Just allow yourself to recreate that candle in your mind. And don't worry if you don't remember all the elements. This is something that takes practice, and when you get better at it, it's really interesting how you can really make that come alive in your mind. So if you didn't have a candle, you wanted to meditate, you could recreate that in your mind. Now go back and open your eyes a little bit again. And notice the candle. Maybe you're surprised and you said, oh, I remembered it a little differently. Or, wow, now I notice something else that I didn't recreate in my mind, which is great because now you're sharpening your powers of observation. There are many meditations where you don't have to just empty your mind and try to make space inside, but you use the power of your observation of yourself, of your perception, to help you become more acquainted with that still part inside you. To really observe fully, you have to become quiet. It's like when you're walking down the street and you notice the sky is so beautiful. It could be in the middle of the day, it could be a blue sky with a really interestingly shaped cloud, or it could be a beautiful sunrise or sunset, but you just have to hold still so you can take it in. And you hold physically still, and then your mind becomes still, and you don't think of anything else except the sky or the sunset or the sunrise and how amazing it is. And then maybe you whip out your camera and you take a picture, and then that kind of interferes with your observation. So I'm going to say, give yourself a moment before you do that. I do the same thing. And see if you can just experience and live that moment. It can bring you pure joy to let yourself just observe and not form any conclusions about what to do next, like take a picture or tell somebody. To just let yourself take that in awe. It doesn't even have to be something from nature. It could be something that you notice, like your cat sleeping, and you notice how peaceful they are, or maybe how their ears twitch. Even though they're asleep, they seem to be hearing things. So you can learn a lot by just observation. And now it's time to blow out the candle. I hope you enjoyed this meditation. And perhaps I'll be seeing you again with some more videos. Be safe and be well. And to those of you who like to say namaste, you can join me. Namaste.